Okay, so I'd like you to grab your Franklin boards or two other similar balls and the soft Pilates ball. Have a cushion also around you too, because you might need that. We're going to go for a unraveling class tonight, just to keep the energy soft and low. So if you could place both of your Franklin balls or tennis balls or other underneath your buttocks, so they are here and here, and have a lie down onto your back, knees bent, feet on the floor. Move all my gubbins away. You may wish to put some a cushion underneath your head. Depends on how it feels. Your neck. If you feel that your head, so here's a suggestion. If you've been peering at a screen for a lot of the day, you may find this a little bit more comfy for you right now. That's given me another thought of something else that we could do after we've popped the balls underneath the pelvis. So just let your pelvis drop onto the balls and allow your bottom cheeks to just start to mould around the balls themselves, and just allow the muscle fibres to soften. Okay, congratulate yourselves for being here too, especially because of the time of day after nearly a full week of work. So just place your hands onto the sides of your pelvis or onto the edges, so just where your knobbly parts are, your protruding parts of your hips here, just to give yourself some support and feeling of groundedness onto the balls too. No need for pressure, any undue pressure. Gravity is giving you sufficient pressure anyway. And then we're just going to do some pelvic clocks, some pelvic tilts from towards your navel and then away from your navel. Keep your feet and your thigh bones relatively still, or as still as you possibly can. Focus on the movement of the pelvis. It's a gentle movement of the pelvis. No need to think about getting the spine flat onto the mat, or for there to be an arching to really happen, like a big arch to happen in your rib cage. Because of the movement of the pelvis, your spine will come lower towards the mat and will arch away from the mat, but only go as far as it's just naturally happening. It's a bit like when we're in quadruped, when we're on all fours and we're moving our pelvis down towards the floor and away from the floor. The spine is articulating naturally rather than creating any kind of force from somewhere else within your skeleton. Okay. And then we're just going to come to that neutral place again, and this time we're going to press into the front leg, lengthen the front thigh bone. Just allow the back hip bone to drop a little bit. The front hip bone rises. Press into the back foot. Back thigh bone lengthens. Back hip bone rises. Front hip bone drops down. And then press in the front foot again and repeat, lengthening the thigh bone, allowing the hip to drop on the back. Hip rises on the front. And press down with the back foot, lengthen the back thigh bone, front hip bone drops, back hip bone rises. And gently just take your time, just going from side to side and repeating that movement, using your feet as the initial place of pressure to start and initiate that movement. No need to move the pelvis, the foot and the thigh bone, do all of that work for you. And just allow the pelvis to drop a little bit deeper onto the balls as you're making those movements. Let's do a few more here. And then we're going to go into circles. So when you've done your last one on the back foot, then just come down so you're back in what would be the neutral place, the neutral position. So no weight, no specific weight on either of the feet, and just feeling equal or thereabouts on the balls. So if you need to move the balls at any time because they're feeling like they've lost their way or they've moved a little bit, then, or maybe your pelvis may have moved a little bit, then please feel free to move them around, because your muscles will be opening up, so therefore things may change. Okay, so we're going to roll our pelvis, so we're tipping it towards our navel. Then we're going to press down with our back foot, lengthen our back thigh, front hip bone drops down. Then we're going to roll towards the middle, so the pelvis is now tipping towards the space in between the legs. And then you're going to press into the front foot, lengthen the front thigh, drop the back hip. And then we're going to come towards the navel. Press into the back foot, lengthen the back thigh bone. And come to the middle, so towards the gap in the middle of your legs. Press into the front foot, front thigh bone, lengthens. And we're going to go to the navel. So repeat each of those movements gently and slowly. And just do a couple of circles that way. Just using the feet to instigate the side movements. And then we're going to come to that neutral place again. And then we're going to roll towards the navel. You're going to press into your front foot, lengthen your front thigh, drop the back hip down, come to the middle where your gap in your legs is, and then press into the back foot, back thigh, drop down onto the front hip, and then to the navel. So we're reversing that movement. If you happen to do it the other way, the first time, or this way the first time round, and you want to go the other way, then please do. So just gently move that around 4 times. And then soften with your pelvis now back into that neutral position. Now we're going to take our attention towards the head, and I want you to just press the back of the head into the floor, into your cushion, and then soften. And then press the back of your head, your skull, into the cushion, and then soften. As you do this, notice how that pressure slightly elevates your rib cage. And again. And again. And then go halfway, and then just turn towards the front shoulder. And turn towards the back shoulder, so the ear comes towards the cushion as you turn the head. And turn to the other side. Maintaining a nice groundedness in your hips again, along over the balls. And just keep on gently turning your head from side to side. And here I'd like you to just envisage that you're lengthening all of the muscles from the ear to the shoulder. They're just lengthening like, I don't know, could be bubble gum, could be candy floss. Just think about just something just really nice and long and soft. Lengthening as you go from ear to ear. You can close your eyes if you'd like to. And then bring your eye gaze or your internal eye gaze so it's up towards the ceiling, and just drop your chin down, eye gaze towards the knee, or internal eye gaze, and that's what if you've got your eyes closed, and then open up the front of the neck as you tip your head backwards. And rock forwards towards your thighs, and open up the front of the throat. Eye gaze towards the thighs, and back. And forwards, and back, and then come down. Now take the balls out from underneath you, drop your bottom down, and then interlace your fingers behind your head. Bring your feet together so there's no more, and your legs together so there is no gap in between your legs. And then slide your knees over towards the back of the mat, turn your head towards the front. Just feel like you're lengthening that thigh bone. Feel like you're sending your elbows out to the opposite side. So you should be feeling a nice lengthening down and across your hip, maybe across your rib cage. If your shoulders are coming off, just lift your knees up just a little bit. And then I want you to bring your elbow across the ceiling, come onto your side. And then open out that top elbow again. Lengthen that top elbow as you come out, eye gaze towards the front. Send the rib cage down. As you turn your knees, your eye gaze turns towards the back of the mat. Knees come to the front of the mat, and then you unravel your spine, or you ravel up your rib cage towards the back of the mat, and then feel like you're lengthening the back elbow towards the back wall. Bring and draw your elbow across the ceiling as you curl onto your front side. And then we open out the elbow. Lengthen the elbows away from each other so you're lengthening the collarbones. Drop the rib cage down, pelvis, knees, eye gaze to the front of the mat. Slide your top thigh bone towards the back of the mat. Draw your elbow across the ceiling as you curl. And again, opening up, yawning that elbow, sending the elbows and the collarbones apart from each other, rib cage, pelvis, knees, eye gaze to the elbow, lengthening away, and draw the elbow across the mat onto your front. And again, opening out the elbow, send the elbows away from each other, rib cage, pelvis, knees, eyes to the front of the mat, knees to the back of the mat. And lengthen those elbows, those collarbones away from each other. Now draw the elbow back over so you're in that lovely fetal position. And then open out the elbow to the front, lengthen the collarbones away from each other, rib cage, down, and knees to the front, eye gaze to the back, and then come over onto your side. Find your way back onto your mat if you have found your way off the mat slightly, and then just drop your cushion in between your arm and your ear. Give yourself that little bit of extra connection. Well, just one moment here. And that's it. Good. Okay, so lying on the front of your mat and facing the front. So knees in, just a little bit further away from that right angle position, and just feel that connection as you send your pelvis towards your feet, so you've got that nice active waist. Lengthen the leg out to, I want to say to the side, but it's not really, just out long. press away with the heel. Feel the length in the whole of the side. And then just draw the arm up towards the ear too. So both of your arms are now long. Press down in that supporting leg too if you feel that you're a little bit wobbly. Bend the knee, bring the hand back down towards the hip. Press away, lengthen the arm over. Bend the knee, bring the hand towards the hip. Press the leg, hand comes to the thigh. And again, breathing gently and slowly through your nose as you wish. Doesn't matter whether it's in or out, when the leg's in and out. I want to really focus on that leg movement and just really engaging that energetic tension. Now place the hand on the floor and then bring the knee in, but you're not touching, the knee is up. And I want you to just open out the front of your hips just a little bit, just as long as you can go. So as if you're like about to shut the door behind you. So you just want to press that door, press that foot behind you, and then bring in midway, press away. I want you to feel a connection in your midline here. Press away. And in and press away. And in and press away. And in and press away. Maybe place your hands here on your pelvis and just make sure that your pelvis isn't moving around. You want to just be lengthening that thigh bone away and then bring the knee in. So if any of you have ever been to the Isle of Man or know what the Isle of Man symbol is, it's 3 legs. Whenever I do things like this, I always think of the Isle of Man, the Manx emblem. And again. And then we're just going to come in and wide open, in and circle open. Again, aiming to keep the pelvis as stable as possible. And then reverse. That's it. And drop down. And we're going to come up. We're just going to move around to the other side. I'm going to place the hand underneath the cushion, have it long, and just bring the knees into that 90-degree and then just move them away just a little bit. Lengthen your pelvis away so you're nicely connected in your waist, and then press away with the leg. Really lengthen that leg and bring that arm up and over. Soften the shoulder here. You may find that your shoulder wants to creep up towards your ear. Just soften the shoulder, and if that is a bit of a problem, just bring your arm up a little bit higher. If this gets a little bit too much with the arm, place it down. Okay, bend the knee in, bring the arm down. Press the leg away, bring the arm up. Bend the knee in, bring the arm down. Press away. That's it. In, press away. In. Keep the connection on the lower limb here. And let's make you feel like you're just really solid throughout your midline. And then one more. And then bring the arm down to the side, or you bring the arm down here, bend the knee in, and then press away behind you, and then come back. Press away behind you, so it's as if you're shutting a door behind you. Maybe you want to keep your hand on your hip just to make sure that it's not going all over the shop. You can also press the lower limb down to again create even more stability. You might want to place your hands at the front perhaps. Notice whether you are slightly different on one side in terms of the hip flexor or on the other side. And then we're going to just circle it round. We're not going to be touching the leg here. Alright. You're just going to circle that hip, the leg bone in the hip, and then reverse. So really getting into your glutes there. And then soften down. Lengthen the legs, bring the hands down, roll onto your back, grab your ball. And then let's just pop the bottom onto the ball. So you're in that really nice rounded arc now. It's a lot softer than the smaller balls. So let's just have a little bit of a movement from side to side, just to get our bottoms back. And then I want you to just draw the knees in and just bring the shins so they're level with the ceiling, or aligned to parallel with the ceiling. And then we're just going to press the backs of the thigh bones away, both of them together. And then we're just going to draw the knees in. So notice where my legs are in terms of perpendicular. So I'm aiming not to be bringing them all the way in. What I want to do is maintain tension in the connection of my abdominals, and then press away. And then bring them back so they're 90 degrees. And away. And away. So you might want to place your fingers on your belly and just notice how that is interacting with your abdominals. And then press away. Now we're going to lengthen the front leg, and we're going to lengthen the back leg. So just gently moving those legs, lengthening them, point toes if you wish to. And then I'd like you to flex the feet as you do that move. That's it, good. Notice the difference in the feeling of your body as you do this. So when we've got our feet flexed, we're using the back line of our legs. And when we've got our feet pointed, if you want to switch, we're using the front line of the body, of the legs. Okay, come in. Bring your knees apart from each other. I've got my toes pointed at the moment. And I'm going to lengthen my legs. My toes come away from each other, but my heels stay the same. Pull the knees apart as you draw in. Press away or point away, I should say. Pull the knees apart. Point away with the legs as they lengthen. Bend the knees, pull the knees apart. Lengthen the legs. Now flex the feet. Pull the knees apart. Press with the soles of the feet away. Pull the knees apart. Press with the soles of the feet away. Pull the knees apart. Press the soles of the feet away. And again. And just bring your legs up towards the ceiling and then open them out to the side. Just gently letting them hang and lengthen. You can have your arms just softly on your belly. You can have them up in the up towards the ceiling. Draw your inner thighs together and then lengthen your legs away. Draw your inner thighs together. Lengthen your legs away. Draw your inner thighs together. Lengthen your legs away. Draw your inner thighs together. Lengthen the legs away. Now sweep down to that low connection of the legs. Bring them back up to just before 90 degrees. Out to the side. Press down in a circle. Circle back up towards that 90 degree. Opening out to the side. Circle down. Up towards the ceiling. out to the side, circle down, feet up towards the ceiling. Now press down to in front of you, circle them out to the side and up to the top, and down, circle them out to the side, up to the top, and down, circle out to the side, and to the top, and down, circle out to the side and to the top. Bend your knees here. Place your hands on your kneecaps and circle your thigh bones in your hip joints. And the other way. So sort of aim to keep your pelvis relatively sort of grounded here. It's harder because of the arc of the ball. But if you do wobble, then that's totally fine. But the aim is to keep you sort of think about grounding your sacrum down. And drop your feet. And then move your bottom from side to side again. And then we're going to take the ball and we're going to place that behind the back of our mid-ribs. So roughly between our shoulder blades around where our bra strap is, maybe just below, and just have a place where we can just interlace our fingers behind our head, bring the elbows in front of us, and we just feel like if we wanted to, we could sit here and watch TV. And then we're just going to press the head into the hands and the hands into the head to get that nice open feeling across the collarbones and the back of the ribs. And you're just going to press the heels of the hands into the skull, lengthen the skull away from your neck. And then you're going to lengthen away, not all of the way, but lengthen away. And then you find you want to just, maybe your knuckles are just grazing the cushion or the mat, and then you're coming back up. Or maybe your body's just going, no, I'm fine here, thank you. And then you come back up. Basically, we're not going all the way back. And come back into chest lift. Lengthen away over the ball. Use the arc of the ball to guide. Press the back of the rib cage into the ball to create this softness, this support that allows us to go deeper. That's it, good. And lengthen away again. And come back. Now staying here in this turned position, you want to lift your legs up, and I want you to just press your elbows towards your thigh bones. You want to be pressing the back of the ribs into the ball to help you pulse here. Just gently pulsing, bringing your elbows towards your feet, towards your thigh bones. I don't want your head to be jutting forwards. I want you to press the head into the hands and the hands into the head. Always have that reciprocal feeling because that really does support the neck. And just continue a couple more. And drop your knees down, lengthen over the ball. With that, we are going to do that again. With that, if you don't want to lift your legs, then please don't. And I should have said that whilst I was doing the previous round. So let's bring our elbows up again. Press the back of the rib cage into the ball as we come up into chest lift. Eye gaze comes to mid-thigh. Draw one leg up and the other leg up, and then we're just going to pulse gently, but we're going to be using, really want you to isolate the movement into your abdominals here. Your head moves as a consequence of the movement of the rib cage sliding towards the navel. You are not moving your head with your hands. Okay. That is the head moving. The head moving is not the movement, or does not, the head doesn't move so the rib cage to navel moves, if you see what I mean. And then we're just going to bring the legs in a little bit if you've got your legs up. And then we're going to drop down. And then we're going to lengthen over the ball. We're going to lengthen the legs long. And we're going to just enjoy this openness of the front of the rib cage for a small moment. Because we're going to be bringing the legs up towards the bottom again, so the knees are bent again. Let the knees drop out to the side, and then we're going to lengthen the legs on the floor. We're going to draw the legs up towards the bottom. We're going to send the knees away into butterfly. We're going to lengthen the legs long. We're going to bring the knees up towards the bottom. Send the knees away and lengthen the legs long. Now we're going to be bringing our knees to our bums so our knees come apart. Bring your knees together, lengthen. Pull the knees apart as the feet get drawn to the bottom. Knees together at the top, lengthen the legs away. Pull the knees apart, feet to the bottom. Knees together, lengthen away. And out we go. Knees up, lengthen forwards. And just open out, just for this one last part of opening. Just draw your hands away from the back of the head. Bring your arms so they're shoulder height, or maybe lower, away from each other. So you're in a little bit of a cross. And just let your body sink into the ball. Maybe you want to spiral your arm bones a little bit with your palms facing the floor. Maybe you want to spiral your arms a little bit so your palms face the ceiling. And again. So you'll notice that your shoulders roll a little bit when your palms are on the floor. And then when you roll away, your palms are facing the ceiling. That's it. And now we're going to do, the front arm is going to stay up, the back arm, the palm is going to stay down. And then you're going to switch the other way. So you're going alternate arms. So one palm is face up, one palm is face down. And then you switch. Good. And then palms both face up. Bring your fingertips towards the ceiling. And then sweep and widen your arms out to the side. Bring your palms towards each other, fingertips towards the ceiling. Open your arms out wide. As you open your arms out wide, don't let your hands go all the way to the floor. They want to be slightly higher than your shoulder height. So it's a really, really, really wide feet. And bring your arms up. And widen them out. So feel when you widen them out that your collarbones are lengthening away from the spine. Back in. Opening out. Back in. And opening out. Okay, bring your hands behind your head again. Bring your knees up. Come up into a chest lift, but not really. You're just pressing the back of the rib cage into the ball. Bring your hands behind your thigh bones. Bring your knees towards you. Really give yourself a lovely, lovely open, flexed back. Bring your hands around your knees perhaps. Bring your knees a little bit closer to you. Just find that support. Let the body fall onto the ball. That's it, good. And then place your hands behind your thighs. Press your thigh bones into your hands, come up to sitting. Okay. Come to cross-legged. And place your hands onto your knees. Drop your nose down towards your chest. Let your rib cage slide towards your navel. And then just draw your fingertips out in front of you. Anchor your sacrum down towards the back. Imagine that the back of your pelvis is sliding towards the floor, lower than the ground, deeper than the ground, anchoring you in. Your head, neck and shoulders are just reaching forward. Your fingertips are connected into the floor. And then you curl up from the front of the spine. And just let your hands come back onto your knees as you come up to sitting. And again, drop your head down. Elbows bending, arms come forward, lengthening the fingers away from you. Anchoring your sacrum down. And then curling back up, drawing your fingertips towards your knees. That's it, lovely. And drop down again. Lengthen forwards. Feel like you're opening up every vertebra of your spine. Lengthening. And then just draw your hands over towards your left knee. Eye gaze goes, or your nose goes towards your left knee. So you're in a little bit of a hello to your left. And then your left arm is just in line of your just behind your knee, and then I just want you to turn and peek underneath. So you're just rotating around, peeking underneath, and maybe looking up towards the ceiling. Just press into the supporting hand and arm. Feel like you're connecting your armpit as well. That's it. And feel like you're shining a torch from your right rib side. And then just coming down, back over your legs. And then come over towards your right side, hands either side of your legs. And then just maybe bring your fingers a little bit closer to the line from your knee, drawing your left hand up, peeking underneath, pressing into the fingertips of that supporting hand. Maybe looking up towards the ceiling, or you can look in front. Thinking of a torch coming from the left side of your rib cage. And then drop down. We're going to repeat that a couple of times on either side, coming over towards your left, hands either side in a V. Then you draw your left hand in a little bit, connecting to the fingertips, turn the rib cage, eye gaze underneath, top arm just lifts up a little bit, feel like you're wide with your collarbones, and drop down, over towards the other side, press into your fingertips, bring your right hand a little bit closer towards your right knee, and then just peek underneath, pressing into those fingertips, lengthening those arms, sending the shining a light from that rib cage on your left. And then come over. We're going to repeat that one more time on this side. You might find that the tissues of your spine are actually opening up with every move here. You may find that you're starting to feel different muscles as you do this, as you lengthen the others. Bring your left arm just a little bit close towards your left knee, press into the fingers, turn, reach around. That's it, good. If your pelvis is coming up a little bit, just draw yourself up. You don't need to go really far out. And then come down. Over we go towards your right side. Open your arms out again, so just press into those fingertips, allow the rib cage to turn a little bit. Back hands a little bit more in line with the knee, turning the rib cage and looking out underneath. Press into those fingers. And coming down, so come in front of you again. Press, just lengthen your hands, really widen your fingers here and your palms. And curve up from the front of the spine. And then let's just turn over towards your left knee, place your hand on the kneecap and put your the back hand behind you and just encourage a lovely rotation. Just look out to your side though, rather than behind you. Just look to the side of your mat. And then keeping the space that you've created, turn away to the other side, hand on the knee, encourage that rotation to happen, eye gaze to the side, widen the collarbones. And then come keeping the space, turn towards your left again, hand behind, place hand on your knee, just encourage that turning again, that rotation, that spiraling, all the way up the crown of the head, the neck, all the way out, upwards in towards the sky. Widen the collarbones. And again. Over towards your right hand on the knee, place that hand out behind you, eyes to the side. And then let's come onto all fours. Tuck the toes under and just press back just a little bit into your heels. Send your bottom away, so stick your bottom up so as if you've got a tail on your sacrum. Just feel like you're sticking that up towards the ceiling. And just traction your hands, so press down and along. So by doing that, you just connect in with the inner arms. Okay, and soften. And then just press down and along. So rather than pressing down into the ground, you press down and along. So it actually creates a little bit of movement of feeling. And then we're going to just lengthen out the back leg, lengthen out the front leg, and come into a plank. You can you can drop your knees down if you'd like to. Send your heels away. And then come up into a downward dog. Widen your shoulders here. And I just want you to lift your front leg up and drop your front leg down. Lift your back leg up. Drop your back leg down. Lift your front leg up. Oops. And drop that down. Lift your back leg up. And down. And then we're just going to walk our hands towards our feet. I'm going to step forward just a little bit. And say you're parallel. I just want you to hang your head and hang your arms. Move your arms just spiral them one way, spiral them the other. Just let them hang heavy. And just bend the knees. Drop the body down towards the thigh bones. Widen the pelvis here, really, really, really wide. And then lengthen the legs. Just let the arms do what they do. Breathe into the back of the rib cage here. Bend the knees. Lengthen the legs. Bend the knees. Lengthen the legs. Find the insteps, the inner thighs, curl up. from the front of the spine to standing. And then let's just lift the front leg up into a balance. Bend the back knee. Press up long. Bend the back knee. Press up. Bend the back knee. Press up. Drop that foot down. Float the back leg up. Find space in that supporting knee. Supporting leg. Bend the knee. Lengthen back up. 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 And draw your arm bones up towards the ceiling. Draw your arms out to the side. Arms up towards the ceiling. Circle them out to the side. And one last time. Bring your arms over across your chest, so your left hand goes onto your right shoulder, your right hand goes on underneath your left shoulder. Give yourself a hug, drop your head down. And then take your lower arm, place it on top, change the cross, and give yourself another hug. And that today is the end of our session. I hope you feel good after that.